coming today. I'd like to thank the Exit for inviting me to speak. Most of all, I would like to thank Amanda Ortmeyer for dropping the charges and allowing me to be here tonight. Thank you. Now, I have been all around this city. I have been shaking everyone's hand. And you know the thing that people ask me the most?
Where's the Perel?
Where's the Perel?
Yeah.
That's actually a new one. I probably should get that more of. What everybody is asking me is, why should we care who mayor is? What does it matter? And you know what? I understand this kind of apathy. People in San Francisco are used to more of the same. So I wanted to come here tonight and tell you a little bit about what you can expect with me as your mayor. The most important thing is that I am going to utilize our city's resources as they've never been used before. Now, what are those resources?
What are they?
Our city has an incredible habit of turning benefits into costs. Take the San Francisco Zoo. Now, the San Francisco Zoo is an incredibly expensive endeavor. We have rare animals. It requires a year-long staff. They need to be fed. Security is an issue. Animal experts are expensive. Yet these very same animals would fetch amazing prices in foreign markets. The fact is, for the great cats alone, their furs would take us through the next 2 years of our deficit. That is only the great cats. The primates are another matter, and do you know how much a rhinoceros horn goes for these days? It is quickly becoming the new gold standard internationally, and we are in a position to get in on this in the ground floor. When I am mayor, the poaching industry will no longer be in a recession in San Francisco, and I promise that to you today. In addition, I don't want you to think that it's only the rare animals that are going to bring in... Funny you should mention that. I don't know how many of you are aware of my background in the private sector, but I learned many great lessons there. I started out small with a family-friendly dog fighting ring. And very soon, within 2 years, we had a franchise that rivaled anything else in the city. And let me tell you, as profitable as that was, it is nothing compared to the guerrilla fights that I can promise. We can even do cross-species promotion. Finally, we will know which is deadly, bear or alligator. We can finally answer these age-long questions. We can also have taquitos fight them, although I don't know how well that would work.
Where are you supposed to fight the bears and the alligators?
Well, the zoo is already there. It's got the right environment. It's got the cages. Many of them are sloped, so you can put people all around them. Trust me, if I could have had that when I was running my business, we could have really packed the house. So the resources are there, as I was saying. Now, of course, this is just a random example. Our city's most famous resource is the San Francisco Bay, the bay for which our city takes its name. But here's the problem with this resource. We protect it quite poorly. The fact is, we control the mouth to the San Francisco Bay. So why are we allowing Oakland to bring ships in and out free of charge? They are mooching off of us, which is why I am proposing immediately a 50% tax on all goods from Oakland ships that come through the bay. Now, I have been roundly...
Charge the anus.
Absolutely. I'm not totally sure I got that. Now, I have been roundly criticized for the burden this might put on our city's law enforcement, and I have a solution to this as well. Because, frankly, I find it embarrassing that a city that is famous for its harbor has such a weak piracy private sector. Finally, those who specialize in seizing ships will have government contracts. A few San Francisco ships might accidentally be seized in this process. But as my mother always said, you can't make an omelet without indiscriminately breaking dozens of eggs and then publicly beating to death chickens so that they learn from the example.
Yeah!
But I digress. Of course, our city's greatest resource is our children. Or at least that's what I've always heard politicians say. People always say children are our greatest resource. So often, it forces me to wonder if they know what a resource is. Because we feed them, we clothe them, we pay their bills, we shuttle them around. That's actually not a resource. In fact, it's exactly the opposite of a resource. When I am mayor, we are finally going to turn children into the resources that I know they can be. Now, currently our education system operates in a very straightforward fashion, but it doesn't work. They teach to a test in the hopes of getting some small federal dollars that never come. But if we shift this around, if we ignore the test completely, these schools can be producing significant sums of money, far more than the wheat carrot the federal government is dangling in front of us. And no, I'm actually not talking about making clothing, nor am I talking about factories or oil rigs, although it is worth noting that the amount of effort we've spent to get them to respond to bells and whistles, we shouldn't close the door on oil rigs and factories entirely. However, they actually have a much more useful function ahead of them. Now, San Francisco has always had much difficulty acquiring the business from the pharmaceutical industry. And now, we can offer them an incentive that no other city is offering them. Drug companies would love to have something in between a monkey and a human. And what is that if not a child? Now, there are in fact some schools in Southern California that have dabbled with the idea of corporate sponsorship from Coke or Pepsi. But that is nothing compared to the amounts we can bring in just with a few pharmaceutical or makeup manufacturers. Now, a lot of people have called this cruel or inhumane, but the fact is our current educational system is not serving our children at all. Before the state mandated that I could not come within 500 feet of any schools, I did a lot of research into this matter. Now, as it turns out, our children can barely add, they have atrocious spelling, and test after test of mine conclusively prove they have no survival skills whatsoever.
Tested in San Francisco?
I'm sorry?
Are you talking about tested in San Francisco, Abel?
Let's go ahead and say that I am. Now, children are going to love this new program. They get to play with all the makeup that they want. Children love to play with makeup. They get to eat all the best of processed food, sometimes years before it's available to anybody else. And if anything goes wrong, do you really know any child that wouldn't be thrilled with a third eye?
That's so true.
Now, children are also going to love my next initiative, which is one of my signature, how am I doing on time? I don't want to make anybody late.
5 minutes.
Okay. Well, people are going to love my next signature platform, which is, of course, the drug war. Now, we have for so many years been spending humongous sums of dollars trying to confiscate drugs, put people in jail. This has clearly not worked. However, it has given us a brand new resource, which is why I am proposing that starting the day after I am inaugurated, we are going to begin to sell all of the drugs that we have been confiscating over the years. And I'm not just talking about marijuana, I'm talking about the good ones. Cocaine, LSD, Red Fire, which is my personal favorite. And of course, I'm going to shuttle ahead here since we are running out of time, because obviously this is going to get us in trouble with federal government. Should that happen though, we have my last resource and our most important resource. Now, Oakland is right next to us, and you know what Oakland is?
What is it?
Oakland is like the perfect guy to be standing next to in a police lineup. Similar size, similar demographic, but a little bit darker. And trust me, no, we will not take the rap for any of this so long as they are just across the bay. So much less sympathetic to a jury. Now, I'm going to wrap up here because obviously the Fringe is going on. I want to make sure you can all see your shows. However, this is just the beginning. We are just getting started. If you would like to help us out, please go to blackheartforamerica.com. Take a flyer, take a mini flyer. Help us spread the word, because people, this election ultimately is about convictions. And having been convicted 8 times, I